Hello, everyone.
Hello there.
We're busy with this series of what the mystics know, what the mystics have discovered through the ages, and what they've passed on to the next generations. And we are looking at, and we said we're going to look at 7 topics that stand out in this legacy of theirs. And we've also said maybe we don't want to commit us only to 7 talks. Uh, through feedback, through conversations, something might play out that we want to linger a little bit longer on a certain topic. And that is the case with this first topic, where we said the first topic is often we see the solution outside of
Or we
ourselves.
look for the solution outside.
Yes. We think so little of ourselves that we say the solution can only be come from outside. All right, there is some validity in that. Often we need help from outside, but the real
The
transformation,
answers.
the answers,
Yeah.
that takes place within ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to come to terms with ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to become mature in ourselves. Not so much a mature ego, but somebody who knows that deep within uh, there's the true self, the God self, the large self, and that through this process of self knowledge and growth, we we move closer to that deep essence of ourselves. Um, but saying that, and that is the topic of today's conversation, is this isn't a once-off occurrence. This isn't, in traditional terms, we might say, I had a conversion years ago, maybe in high school or whenever, on a camp. I had a conversion, and since then, I've tried to live my life according to what God expects of me. And it is often the case that there is something being stirred in us where we say, I want to go deeper. I want to become more authentic.
So there was a surrender.
A surrender. That's
Yeah.
a
But
yes.
there was a surrender, but then life happens. And you find that you are not a perfect person even after this conversion, after this surrendering yourself to God. And then there's this almost like a loss of faith, or inside of yourself there's turmoil in
A
terms of a
disillusionment.
disillusionment about your faith, about your conversion, because you still the sinful person that you felt you were before,
Yes.
and you don't
So
understand this
there
because
often there's also a faith crisis
yes.
because I'm a bad believer, so my faith isn't strong
Yeah, so
enough.
yeah, so coming from me, I
Yeah.
have to get. So we often have that, or on the other hand, that we so believe that everything is now right between us and God, that there's nothing further needed from my side.
Exactly.
So I can just go my merry way, go through my life, try to be a good Christian, and my booking is has been made.
Yes.
And I think both of those doesn't help us to become whole people, healthy,
Mature people.
mature people, emotionally, spiritually.
Yes. Yes. Because I think that conversion, let's use that language, the old language, that conversion provides a certain frame. But this frame must be filled in. And often the filling in doesn't happen. And the filling in happens by going inside and going on an inner journey and discovering, who am I? What are the triggers that sets me off on a certain path? What are the things that makes me struggle with certain people? Why do I have such a temper? Why, despite being converted, my marriages don't succeed or whatever? So the inner journey is extremely important. So God says, all right, I can see that there's this longing on your side, there's this commitment. Now the work starts. But this work, I can, I appreciate it that you want this deeper relationship with me, but as I've said on numerous occasions, to get to me, you have to go through you. That is the route. And then this journey starts where it's this inward journey where we get to know ourselves.
And we're not alone on the journey.
No.
It's a
No,
journey
no.
with God,
Yes.
going inwards.
Yes. Yes. So then this journey starts, and I think maybe the main focus of today's conversation, this conversion, this surrender, this growth process isn't a once-off. It is a continuous process. It is from day to day, from moment to moment, where this happens. Not because I'm weak, not because I'm bad, not because my faith can't stand the test of time, nothing of that, because I'm human and this is the process. Our ego builds up layers to protect us, to help us, supposedly, but often doesn't help us.
Yeah, or it was helpful when I needed to be protected in a certain way. And I keep the structure, I keep the coping mechanisms, and I don't adapt to my growing up, my maturing, my capabilities.
Yes.
And I think often in terms of that, if you look at the definition of the word sin, as not hitting
The mark.
the mark, like with a bow and an arrow, then that is such a beautiful image of a life, even though a surrender happened, but a life not reaching the full potential.
Exactly. Exactly. Because as we said, there's this deep, deep essence in us, the God self, the large self, the true self. And God wants us to guide us into that, to grow into that, our full potential. And every time our ego says, no, 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 but it can't be this, and it leads us in a different direction, we sin because we're missing the mark.
Yeah, yeah.
Not because we're a bad person,
Yeah.
but we're missing the point.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
exactly what is happening.
We
So
lose direction.
we lose
Yeah,
direction.
yeah.
We're losing the plot.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
losing the plot.
Yeah, and even if we don't have the full plot,
No.
because we don't.
Yes.
Um,
So when, take for instance, Paul writing in Romans 7, where he says, the good that I want to do, I don't do that. But the bad that I don't want to do, before I get, before I know it, I'm doing exactly that.
yeah.
So it's almost like,
Programmed.
what is a record?
Yeah. Getting stuck
In a certain groove.
Yes.
The needle gets stuck. And it might be that we've been converted, but the needle is stuck in this groove on the record. and I don't get out. So this conversion process on a daily basis, on moment to moment, it helps us to move beyond that, to become more mature. That is also something that Paul often talks about, to grow in maturity. And this inner process. And it is happening from day to day, moment to moment, and it can be messy. Sometimes I don't look like a hero in this story. Sometimes I have to say, I'm sorry. Uh, Sometimes I have to begin again. I'm not perfect. I discover that, although I thought I was, I'm not. That is the process. So don't become despondent when things happen. This is the process. This is what the mystics discovered. What we are looking for outside is inside, and it is taking time and a long process to grow into that.
And a lifelong journey.
Yes, where God is gently guiding us in this process. Thank you very much for the feedback. We had lovely feedback on last week's conversation. Thank you for sharing that, becoming vulnerable in the process as well. And thank you that we get the idea that it is helpful to talk about these things because it brings a certain clarity. So, until next week.
Have a good week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Keep well. Bye bye.